so without further ado, I want to welcome Dylan Sprayberry. He is an actor. He's best known for playing young Clark Kent in Man of Steel with Kevin Costner, and then most well known for playing Liam in the popular Teen Wolf series. He's been in many other productions. He is a very talented actor who is known for bringing his characters to life. He is also a screenwriter and an award-winning filmmaker. And he's also a musician, very talented musician who just recently released his albums on Spotify. And those are blowing up over there. And then he's a published author and a poet. So super excited to have you here, Dylan. Thank you so much. And I'm just going to let you take over.
Thank you very much for having me, Rachel. I'm really excited to be here. And yeah, any chance I get to talk about storytelling and uh, on any medium, I'm really excited to talk about it. For anybody on the chat who doesn't know who I am or doesn't have too much knowledge except for what Rachel just said, to give you a little bit better understanding of what I've been doing, yes, I've been acting for, it's been a very long time. I started acting when I was a kid, and so I've been acting for around 20 years, which has been a great experience, and I've learned a lot about storytelling from the perspective of being an actor, a film actor specifically. So I've got that tool on my tool belt, which is great. And I've always had an interest in writing, but I would say over like the last probably 5, 6 years, I really started putting a lot more effort into being a professional in terms of writing. One of the things that I'm most proud of that's not out yet is that I wrote a screenplay with the amazing filmmaker Luc Besson, who did Leo and the Professional and Fifth Element and a lot of other amazing films. And
One of my favorites.
yeah, he's one of my favorites too. I mean, I
Mhm.
Fifth Element was probably my favorite movie when I was a kid, and still is one of my favorite movies now. And so that is something we can crack into, but that whole experience in itself, learning how to write a screenplay from a master screenwriter was incredible. I've been a musician since I was a young teenager, around 12 or 13, playing guitar and writing my own songs. So there's a big element of writing to songwriting, and I also did release a poetry book last year, which is called Dog Days, and that was really fun. So, anyways, I just wanted you guys to have a better understanding in terms of writing, where I'm coming from, and kind of what I'll be speaking on based off of my experience. And I'm very excited
Great.
to be here, and thank you guys for listening.
Yay. Good. Well, so I'm so excited. So yes, definitely. I'm really excited to talk to you about, what you've been working on most recently, um, and to dive into that too. So anything like, yeah, we can absolutely get into that as well. Um, okay, so great. So as far as um, kind of the flow of the class, where do you think is the most important place for somebody to start if they have, let's say they're just kind of a new writer and they're just kind of getting into developing this world and creating their characters, and what advice would you give for that?
Um, Well, the first thing I'm kind of like a quote robot. I'm like filled with random quotes that I read, scrolling Instagram and all different kinds of stuff. And I can't remember who said this, unfortunately, because I would love to give them credit for it. But it might have been either David Lynch or Paul Schrader. Paul Schrader is the writer of Taxi Driver. He said the only difference between an amateur and a professional writer is that the professional didn't give up. So I think that, sorry, mine says reconnecting. Okay, cool. Yeah, the professional writer never gave up. That's the only difference.
Mm,
Uh, Talent is something that, while can be important, is nowhere near the most important thing consistency and constant effort are the most important things, and enjoying what you're working on. Um, so I think that's always an important thing to remember, especially if you're beating yourself up with an idea that you're trying to develop and it's just proving to be difficult. It's just really about not giving up. Even if you spend a day where you literally don't do anything except for try to write something, that's better than a day spent not trying to write something. Um, so I would say for someone who's starting writing, I really like the way that David Lynch compares uh, writing to fishing. He talks about the concept of ideas, like being a fisherman who's sitting, out on a lake trying to catch a fish. Um, you never know when an idea is going to come upon you, and you never know when you're going to catch something. And the more you allow yourself to have that space to receive ideas, the bigger the ideas will get, and also the easier that they'll come because you develop that ability to create some silence within yourself.